right, so let's find a nice comfy seat. Anywhere. Settle all the way in. That respiration cycle. Maybe let your eyes close. About finding that ease and verticality of your spine. So there's this little village that's at the base of two mountains, kind of nestled up against them in the valley. This remarkably prosperous village, full of very wealthy, privileged people. Give ourselves about 60 more seconds here, just finding our way to center here. Last 30 seconds here. Just smoothing out your breath, rounding out those corners. When it feels appropriate for you, if the eyes are closed, we'll let them open. Take our palms into an upward facing position. And then we're just going to start with our right shoulder, just a little roll in the forward direction. And thinking about getting through that full capacity for rotation, even if it's a little hitchy or a little clicky here. Think about just getting into your shoulders' full ability to move, and then once you get that full ability, then start thinking about how we can smooth out maybe pops, sticky points. And let's reverse the direction of that shoulder movement. Still looking for the shoulder's full capacity to cycle through. We'll come back to a neutral point and think about how that proximal humeral head is just sitting in your shoulder joint, almost like you want to draw both of them in and just feel the difference in joint approximation. And let's take that over to the second side. So palms up, and we'll just start a direction for that second side roll. Really feeling into the full capacity to move and rotate. And then we'll reverse the direction. Thinking about smoothing things out, what you can do to kind of alleviate sticky points. And then when you feel balance right to left, let's just pause. Turn your shoulder girdle and torso toward the left so that we get as much rotation as is possible. And then without allowing the right side of your seat to lift up, just start to move towards that left side of your room or mat. So we should have some level of posterior chain engagement along with the twist. If you have the capacity to go deeper, which I do not have right now. Feel free, but find a spot where you get that posterior chain pull. And then we'll come back to neutral. Set the spine back, feel the kind of pelvic bowl neutralize, and then we take that whole torso shoulder girdle rotation, and we'll head over to that second side. And we just feel that rotation, drive in, but don't allow that left hip to lift up. When you feel balance left to right, we'll walk back to neutral. Sit in that little kind of pelvic bowl cradle again, and then we're going to walk ourselves straight out into a fold. Give yourself 15 more seconds here. And then we'll walk ourselves back into the transition to hands and knees tabletop. Setting up that base tabletop position. Really find neutral spinal alignment. Send your left leg straight back and behind you. Let that left toe mound connect into the mat. Think about that strength in the quad and taking the bend out of the knee, but load that high calf tissue and turn your gaze over towards the left. And then relax to neutral and turn the gaze over towards the right. And relax back to neutral. Let that left leg come back and mirror the right. Curl toes underneath you and roll back into down dog. The length of the spine here. Really drive that space. And then we'll come down to hands and knees tabletop. Send the right leg straight back and behind you. Connect that right toe mound. Pressurize and activate into that high calf insertion musculature. And then turn your gaze over towards the right. And to neutral. Think about weight distribution balance and to the left. And to neutral. Bring that right knee back in line and sink back into child's pose. Settle all the way into child's pose and really think about the hips releasing. Get as much depth towards the sacrum as is possible. We'll give ourselves just another 15 seconds here. When it feels appropriate, we'll pull ourselves back into tabletop, curl our toes, lift our seat, and once again, engage with down dog. Tiptoe your way forward to the front of the mat and settle all the way into that fold. Let the musculature of the back relax. Let the head drip into that depth. And then we'll roll our way up into mountain. Establishing this nice neutral base position, bringing our hands together at heart center. Think about the weight distribution balance between the right and the left foot. And keeping the hands right at heart center, just slide your left foot straight back and behind you. Land in that nice little lunge. Smooth into that front quad. Release the hands to the mat. Plant your left hand and tip the right hand up into a nice twist. Right hand reaches towards the front of the room, gaze straight down at the floor. Drop the right hand and step forward with the left foot. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Roll yourself up into mountain. About splaying out the feet here, finding that neutral anterior posterior balance. Bring the hands together at heart center. When it's appropriate, when you feel balanced, when you feel grounded, right foot slides straight back. We just land in that lunge, smooth into that front quad, no bend in that back knee, nice straight, strong leg. Drop the hands to the mat. Plant the right hand, let the left hand reach up into the twist. Left hand comes to the mat, right foot steps forward. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Roll yourself all the way up. Bring your hands together, heart center. Anterior, posterior neutrality as you sink back into chair. Think about that nice neutral flat back here. Rise back up to mountain, extend the arms up and overhead. And exhale through forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands, we'll walk back into down dog. Get that depth in your down dog. Really think about the tailbone lifting and carrying you back. Let's come down to hands and knees. Tabletop, we'll flip the tops of the feet and sink back into child's pose. Pay attention to how the low back is responding in child's pose. In a lot of ways, what we're looking for here is an opportunity to feel the low back release. We'll give ourselves just about 15 more seconds here. One really unique thing about this little village is the wealth and the prosperity were all attributed to this one thing. This giant altar that had been built in the middle of town. When it feels appropriate, we'll pull ourselves forward to hands and knees tabletop. Curl our toes, lift our seat, and roll back into down dog. Behind the altar, or on top of the altar, was a podium facing into the valley between the two mountains. And that area of the village was really thought of as sacred. Get that length and that depth into your tailbone, and then let's walk forward to the front of the mat. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. All the way through that fold. Drift your awareness to your sacrum, and let's roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming into mountain, bring our hands together. Oh, at heart center. Settle the weight here, then release your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and push those thumbs straight down. Really think about capturing these anterior shoulder capsules and driving width across the shoulders as we step back with our left foot. Draw that nice neutral anterior line. Sweep the arms up and overhead into full crescent. Exhale, float the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back into plank. Lift the seat into down dog. Shift forward to plank. And lift the seat into down dog. Walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Let your body just relax there. Get that full release. And then we'll drift our awareness to our sacrum and we'll roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae, finding our way back into mountain. Bring the hands together, heart center. And settling at that heart center position so you can feel into the weight distribution. Then release your hands behind you, interlace the fingers and push the thumbs down. Try to capture that shoulder girdle space as you step the right foot back. And to lunge. Neutrality in the torso, width across the shoulder girdle. And then sweep the arms up, full expression to crescent. Float the hands down to the mat. We'll step the left foot back into plank. Shift into down dog. Forward to plank. Your choice here, option for a chaturanga. You can stay in plank or you can do this from your knees. And then we'll meet back in plank. Find down dog. Get that extra depth here. Push the tailbone up. Draw the belt line up. Get that height into the hips. And let's walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Let your body completely let go into this fold. Grab opposite elbows and rock a little side to side, really thinking about letting your body fully release. Getting that extra depth as the head moves laterally. And then let's drift our awareness to our sacrum and we'll roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming up and reestablishing our version of mountain. Thinking about the weight distribution between the toe mounds and heels, between the lateral and medial edges of the feet, bring the hands together at heart center. And as the hands settle at heart center, think about how that weight distribution is impacted by our shoulder positioning. Think about how balanced we need to be along both lateral lines. Create some ease in the state of balance. And then let's slide our left foot straight back into lunge. Ground your left heel and just blossom open into warrior two. Think about the arms expanding out, taking that width with you, opening up this external rotation of the hips. And bringing your right forearm on top of your right thigh, little side angle. Draw that line up from the hips to that left hand. If it feels accessible to you, you can reach that right hand down on the medial edge. Little expansion of that side angle. And then we'll draw ourselves back into two. Big blossoming energy here. The left heel spins up and we find crescent. And then we'll drop the hands and step to the front of the mat. Re-go through that balance. Toe mounds the heels, lateral to medial edges, shoulders, everything gets in alignment. And then we'll take the right foot back, land in our lunge, feel comfortable and confident, ground the right heel, blossom open into two. Think about the hips just peeling open into this space, the arms reaching open into this space, then left forearm to left thigh, right hand reaches towards the ceiling. Good line through the legs, through the shoulders, up to that right hand. If it feels accessible, you can release the left hand down. Draw yourself up into warrior two. Re-blossom into the shape. And then right heel spins up. Crescent. And we'll step forward and into mountain. Settle back into your mountain. Drop the seat back into chair. Get that length. Rise back through mountain and reach the arms up and overhead. And then slide the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. Shoulder girdle stays wide. Push those thumbs down. Lift the chin if that feels accessible to you. And then see if it feels appropriate to keep the hands interlocked as you take yourself through forward fold. And then we'll release our hands down to the mat. Plant the hands and walk to plank. Lift the seat and find down dog. Down to hands and knees, tabletop, flip the tops of the feet and sink back into child's pose. So the podium facing this valley was not just architectural art. It was purposeful. The members of this village, the villagers of this village, had been granted this incredible gift. Someone, something had always looked out for them. Anytime they had a doubt, anytime they had a question, they stepped to the podium and shouted it into the valley. And an answer would always echo back. No matter what question was asked, they were given guidance from whatever it was that was looking after them. Give ourselves about 10 more seconds here. And when it feels appropriate, let's pull ourselves forward to hands and knees tabletop. From hands and knees tabletop, curl your toes, lift your seat, and find down dog. And settle your right foot straight back and behind you. And then step that right foot forward into lunge. Ground your left heel, bring the right hand to the medial edge of the right foot. But keep the left hand grounded if that's accessible to you. So we kind of are squared up towards the front of our room, almost like we're in warrior one-ish shape, and then start to peel back into your right hamstring.
So we're straightening into that right leg, really putting some pressure on the lower hamstring insertion. Kind of a weak point of the hamstrings for most of us. And then take the right hand back to its side of the mat, bend the right knee, sweep yourself up into Warrior One. And then drop the hands to the hips and roll open into Warrior Two. So peeled open hip girdle, slide back into the right hamstring, and start to tilt yourself forward into a little triangle. Now we have some fatigue in the hamstring, or some potential fatigue in the hamstring anyway. So be cognizant of that. Have enough bend in that knee that you feel protected. And then we'll bend the right knee, draw ourselves up, blossom into full version of two. Spin the left heel up and find crescent. Put the hands to the mat. Step the right foot back into plank. Lift the seat and find down dog. Left foot extends straight back and behind us. Let's step that left foot forward into lunge. Ground your right heel. Left hand comes to the medial edge of the left foot, and then we just start to press back into that left hamstring. Activating that lower tissue into the knee insertion. Think about slowing your respiration rate and controlling the nervous system. And we'll bend that left knee and bring the left hand back to its side of the mat. Sweep yourself up into Warrior One. Hands to the hips, roll to two. Think about the hips being open. Slide back into the left hamstring and tilt your way forward. Good. Shoulder stack, respiration control, engagement in that left leg. Draw yourself back up, bend the front knee and find two. Fluid, easy breath. Right heel spins up crescent. Put the hands down on the mat. Step the left foot back into plank. Your choice, stay in plank, drop to a little chaturanga. We'll meet back in plank. We'll find down dog. Get the weight all the way back into the hips. The hamstrings are gonna wanna fight taking on weight. So really press back into that. And then come down to hands and knees tabletop, flip the tops of the feet, and settle your way into child's pose. Land and breathe, be at ease. Nice and fluid here. And so pretty much everyone who had ever grown up in this village recognized the opportunity they had, the gift they had. And many of them felt exceptional because if they ever had doubts, if they ever had questions, they could simply walk to the podium, shout it into the valley, and on answer, a guide would echo back to them. We'll give ourselves just about 20 more seconds here. When it feels appropriate, let's pull ourselves forward to hands and knees tabletop. From hands and knees tabletop, curl the toes, lift the seat, and find down dog. Get that hip depth going. Step the left foot. Let's step the left foot forward since I said it. Left foot into lunge. Sweep your way up into crescent. Float the hands down to the mat. Slide straight back into the left hamstring. Push back into that right heel as you do so. Then rebend the left knee. Sweep yourself up into crescent. Get the weight back into that right leg. Float the hands down to the mat. Slide back into that left hamstring. Push back into your right leg. Bend the left knee. Sweep yourself up into crescent. Feel how the hamstring is wanting to soften and how you have to use your core to stay balanced. Put the hands down to the mat. And one last time, slide back into that left hamstring. Push into your right heel to get the weight all the way back. Really energize that left leg. Bend the left knee. Sweep to crescent. Drop the hands to heart center and step forward to mountain. As you land in mountain, sink the seat back to chair. Nice neutral torso. Think about the asymmetry in the left and right hamstrings. Rise back up to mountain, sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale through fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands. We'll walk to plank. Lift to down dog. And then we'll step our right foot forward into lunge. As you land, slide back into the right hamstring, push back into the left heel. Energize that right hamstring. Think about getting the weight into the left heel. Bend the right knee, sweep the arms up into crescent. Neutral torso alignment. Put the hands on the mat. Slide back into the right hamstring. Drive that weight back and really think about creating that depth. Bend the right knee, sweep the arms up into crescent. Put the hands down on the mat. One more time. Slide back into that right hamstring. Activate into that left heel. Bend the right knee, sweep to crescent. Drop the hands to heart center and step to mountain. Sink the seat back into chair. Flat, neutral spine. Rise back to mountain. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale through fold. Inhale into half lift. Hold that half lift. Think about elongating the lumbar spine as you hold here. Then you exhale, release into your fold. Take that elongation of the lumbar spine with you. Plant your hands. We'll walk to down dog. Come down to tabletop. Flip the tops of the feet and sink back into child's pose. There's one particular member of this little villager, who didn't take everything about this gift for granted. She wanted to know more. Who was answering? What was answering? All of these decisions were being made after they were shouted into this valley, and an answer came back, but where did it come from? And so, unlike the rest of the villagers, she became dead set on answering that question. Give ourselves about 20 more seconds here. So one morning she packed up a bag. She left the comforts of the village And she headed straight into the valley, this rocky valley where the echoes come from. When you're ready, pull ourselves forward to hands and knees tabletop. And we'll extend our legs straight out in front of us. As the legs extend, let's follow them forward into a seated forward fold. Settle into a fold that is impactful for you. Really think about controlling your breath here. No matter where the fold kind of pauses for you, think about using your breath to find just a little bit more with each exhale. Just letting your body melt here. We'll give ourselves 60 more seconds. Remember to slow down your respiration and expand through each exhale. Last 10 seconds. When it feels appropriate, let's bring ourselves back to staff, and then we'll lower ourselves onto our back. And as you release onto your back, really think about how that allows you to feel the work we've done in the posterior chain, to feel how the support, the mat beneath you, and that neutrality it's providing offers you the opportunity to relax and expand more deeply into the shape. About how your breath allows your body to release into the trust of the mat. And let's bring both of our knees into a bent position if they're not. So kneecaps point towards the ceiling. And then extend your right leg down the mat, right toes point towards the ceiling, and let the left knee fall open wide. So the bottom of the left foot is up on the medial edge of the right thigh. And then have enough engagement or enough awareness on your right leg that the right toes stay pointed straight up. Wherever your arms are, turn the palms towards the ceiling if they're not. And then think about how you can use your breath to expand the shoulder girdle. And so this young woman kind of made her way further and further into these valleys. really this canyon between these two mountains. And the further she got into the valley, the more it became canyon like, kind of sheer rock walls on either side of her. Eventually, she came to was a very odd geological formation, a dead end in this canyon. And so she had to make a choice, find a way to go up or turn around. And because she hadn't answered her question yet, who or what was responding? The questions asked by the villagers, she decided she couldn't go back. So she had to go up. Give ourselves about another 30-ish seconds here. Keep your awareness on that right foot, right toes pointed straight up. It feels appropriate for you. We'll bring that left knee back up towards the ceiling or sky, and we'll bend the right knee. Let the bottoms of both feet come together and the knees fall out wide. We won't be here super long, just enough to balance out that external rotation. And then bring the knees back to neutral. Extend the left leg down the mat. Left toes point towards the ceiling. Right knee falls out wide. Just enough awareness or engagement to keep the left foot actively pointing towards the ceiling. Toes pointed towards the ceiling. That really just allows us to keep more neutrality, more balance across the hips. Kind of a unique way to stay balanced as we go asymmetrical with the external rotation of the hips. And so she started to climb. After some time, some effort, some trial, some retrial, some failure, and finally some success. She made it success. She made it out of this little canyon. And she saw that there was another canyon above it, but there was also a path, a game trail up the mountain. It just made the most sense to her to go up. She would have a better view, better perspective of what might be answering these questions. Last 20 seconds here on the second side. When it feels appropriate, we'll bring that right knee up, bend the left. Let the bottoms of the feet come together and both knees fall out wide. Again, just trying to find a little semblance of balance here. Give yourself just 15 seconds just to respirate, ease, soften into this full external rotation. Much more symmetrical than the first time we were here. And then we'll bring our knees together and let them fall over to the left side. If it feels okay to stay here, to just land statically, do. If you feel like you could use a little bit of dynamic movement, let that happen too. Eventually, we're going to want to come to a little static hold here, or we might want to come to. If it doesn't feel right, don't. And so she kept climbing higher and higher up this mountain. And the game trail got less and less worn, but the vegetation also got sparser and sparser. More sparse, whichever it should be. Give ourselves just 30 more seconds here. When it feels appropriate, we'll bring the knees back to neutral, check in on that position of balance, and then let the knees fall over to the second side. Once again, if movement feels like it's the advantageous choice, feel free. If coming into a static position feels like it'll work for you, let's do that. Checking in with your rate of respiration. Making sure you're at ease where you can be at ease. Last 10 seconds here. And then when it feels appropriate, we'll bring our knees back to neutral. As you get into this neutral space, ask yourself if there's anything that you might want, need, or could benefit from prior to Shavasana. If there is anything, let's offer that to ourselves now. And if you have everything you need, then let's settle in for some stillness. Here. And so this young woman should be
makes it to the top of this mountain. And she expects when she gets there, she's going to find whatever it is that's been answering the village's questions, or at least be able to see it, experience it. But when she gets to the top of the mountain, she finds total silence, almost disturbing silence. Just settling all the way into your version of Shavasana.
There's some time in this stillness. Quiet was broken. An echo bounced off the rock walls of this canyon. It bounced into that dead end and it bounced back towards the village. And this young woman listened to what arrived, and it was mumbled, broken sounds. And she listened to what was sent back towards the village, and it was mumbled, broken sounds. And then after some more time passed, another. And she realized that these were the questions being asked, and that there was nothing responding. In fact, the questions weren't even arriving, they were just sounds bouncing off walls by the time they got back. And by the time they went back to the village, who knows what the sounds could be. Start to bring some movement to our fingers and our toes, into our wrists and our ankles. And she realized that people hadn't been getting answers. They'd been hearing things, echoes, and they had been making answers out of them. Movement into your elbows, knees, shoulders, hips. Let the spine move, let the neck move, let the head move. Eventually, the whole body moves. With that whole body movement, let's transition from the shapes we are in and find our way into a seat. Let the spine get tall, breath get fluid, eyes close here. Really think about finding ease in the spine and ease in the breath. And let's inhale our hands together, heart center. Just soften into the way you are respirating. Over the course of the next 7 days, can you remind yourself that chasing echoes leads you in circles? And try to walk straight forward towards the truth. See how that impacts your experience. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening's practice and for being you. Namaste. Happy Monday, guys. Appreciate you being here. I will be back on Sunday to recharge, and we'll do this again next Monday. Have a beautiful week. Mwah.